Planters Bank was founded in 1946 by farmers and business owners because they needed a community bank that knew them and understood their business. A lot has changed since then, but Merchants and Planters Bank is still employee-owned and operated, and we're still committed to knowing and understanding the needs of every customer we serve. Great rates, fast turnarounds, and experienced local bankers ready to work for you. That's why you should choose Merchants and Planters Bank. Stop in any of our 12 locations or contact us at mnpbank.com.
We welcome you to Cable 15 TV, Facebook Live for Sports Unleashed. David Black, Hayden Schultz, along with
nobody.
It's just us, my friend.
Just us.
Nobody but us.
That's it.
And we're going to have a little sports show tonight. got lots of things to talk about. What a week of basketball that we had last week for both boys and girls. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk a little bit about high school kids signing football letters, and then we're going to talk about a lot of other things also. And we're going to talk about that big call that you had, and I've kind of put something together for that, but then we'll have the two chicks' birthday report. But our baseball coach, Caleb Spears, coming in to share some thoughts and wisdom with us about the upcoming baseball season. You've kind of been around a little bit. We won't give up too much information. But
hopefully he gets to come in. I know that they were still scrimmaging, and he said around 6:30, and hopefully he gets to come in and talk to him and Chelsea Golden, the softball coach. And Chelsea just couldn't get it done today since it was so late. And I think that you're going to take care of that later on this week. So we'll get to hear from both of them the upcoming season. And should be exciting this year for baseball and softball. The big thing is you got two first-year head coaches, and they've got loads of talent that are young. You know, some ninth graders moving up that were competitive in junior high and both softball and baseball. So it should make for an exciting year. I'm excited to go watch them. Got to watch a little bit of the scrimmage. I mean, Coach Spears has got it going on with he had the walk-up music for the pitchers, walk-up music for the hitters, already set up. I mean, made it live. I mean, it was like a game, and it was a pretty awesome environment for a scrimmage game.
Right.
I mean, because most of the time you get a scrimmage and you just go out there and, hey, no one in here.
No one in here. Get you about 20 pitches in right here.
So it was pretty awesome to see that. I think Jason Tarwater just told me they're tarping the field right now. So
okay, good deal.
Hopefully we'll get Caleb in here. And I'll let him talk a little bit more about his boys. I know he's excited, and I'm excited to watch boys and girls this year. Got cousins playing softball, cousins playing baseball, so I'll be at the ball field a lot this year, David Black.
I think I'll be with you, and I'm excited about it from both ends, and boys and girls. Like I say, Caleb coming in tonight. We'll have Coach Golden later in the week, probably just do a regular interview with her and then post it here on Facebook Live. But what an exciting week of high school basketball that we just went through. And really, our going back to prior to the district tournament, because we had to play on a Friday night at Riverview and then a Saturday morning at Newport, played Riverview again. And we ended up playing 6 games in 8 nights or days. And it was just a great run by the Hounds. Talk a little bit about what you thought about the run.
Well, I mean, it all started, going Monday and having to play a very tough Pangburn team who was banged up, missing a couple of their players, but, I mean, scrappy.
You bet you.
I mean, one of those teams that could shoot the 3 ball, play real good perimeter defense, not allow anything, no easy points. To win that one was a big one, and then you kind of think, okay, well, Clinton, very physical inside. They're not going to let us get very many buckets inside. Got some big guys. Not a lot of guard play, a lot of forwards in that Clinton bunch, gritty. And you go beat them, and then it's like, okay, you're here. What are you going to do?
Right, yeah. Probably over now, yeah.
What Ferguson said is, we're here, so how are we going to react?
Right.
And then you go to Mountain View, or at Riverview and play Mountain View, and a chance to go to a regional and to hit. And I go back to it. Everybody talks about the shot that John hit, but I still think the 8 points in 36 seconds is remarkable.
Right.
The guy goes down there, gets a layup. We foul. They go 1 or 2 from the line. He goes down there and hits a 3 before that.
Right.
He doesn't hit the 3 before that. We don't have a
That
chance.
is right. Yeah, we're down by 5.
And then we foul with 5.6 seconds left, and you kind of know the rest. And miss both of them, and John goes down there and hits a big shot. And then it goes over to Riverview. Why not win this thing? And we talked about that last week was, could a 9 seed win? Because I really think that from top to bottom, it's one of the best conferences in 3A. Because the 9 could beat the 1.
Right, absolutely.
The 8 could beat the 2. I mean, anything could happen when you got that competitive of a team. And you really go look at the record doesn't really tell how good the Hounds were for the boys. It doesn't show. A lot of those games you lose by 5, you lose by 3. And a lot of those games you were leading going into the 4th and just couldn't find a way to finish. And then to have those 3 runs right there, and then Riverview, you're up 8.
I ate a couple of different times.
A couple of different times, like David said, and it was tough. You could kind of tell we were getting worn down. Had a couple kids get in foul trouble and had some things not really go our way, some loose balls. We lost a couple of rebounds where they got second point opportunities. It was Riverview's night, and obviously Riverview is the best team in the conference because they won the conference outright and then won the district tournament, beat a real good Cave City team. I see Riverview making noise, but all four of these teams that are going to regional in our conference could possibly win. I mean, I
think vice versa the other way too.
Yes,
yeah, I think it's a toss up every game.
It's not a write off. You look at Osceola and how good they are, and you want me to talk about Osceola?
Yeah, that'd be great. Absolutely.
22-4 on the year, David.
Yeah, they're good.
won their conference, won their district tournament. They won 12 in a row. So what I like to say about that is, you win 12 in a row, you eventually got to lose one. Unless you go the whole way.
Right.
And I go back to Osceola when we played them last year in the regional, and the solid bunch we had and really took care of business with them. That was one of those games. It was physical from the get-go. I mean, it was an old boxing match, heavyweights going at it. I mean, it was almost like a football game out there. And Osceola, I don't think got anybody graduated. I don't think anybody left.
No, I think everybody's back.
I think everybody's back.
And they had a couple of good kids from junior high move up.
And David says they've had some guys move up. So it's going to be a tough task because we're not the same team we were last year.
Right.
We have to do some different things. We have to get the ball inside out, rely on getting to the basket and making some tough shots, or getting to the free throw line and having to battle those things out. So Hounds have got a big test with Osceola being the 1 seed, 22-4, like we said, 14-2 in the conference. Got beat by Walnut Ridge early in January, then got beat by Rivercrest at Rivercrest. Right. Played them not too long ago in the district tournament. They scored 90. Osceola scored 90.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good.
And I went and looked, and they've got some guys 75, 86, 90. I mean, so
come on in, Josh.
Hounds.
Come on in, plenty of room. Come on in, brother.
Hounds have got a big test, and with Coach Ferguson, his goal is always 10 points a quarter. It is going to be tough to hold Osceola to 40 points. I mean, I think he knows that going into it. I'm excited to see what we're going to do. Are we going to run the tempo with them, or are we going to take the air out of it? How are we going to match up against them? What are we going to do? Because last year, if you remember, it was just as soon as the tip-off hit, it was
up, down, and play, and get after it.
It was a track meet.
Yes, sir.
And if you went to the hoop, somebody was coming to hit you out of the air. And it was just one of those games where it was real physical from the get-go. Refs, I think last year did a real good job letting them play through some of those contacts.
I thought so, too, in the tournament. I thought just let them play.
And going back to that, I thought in the district tournament, they did a real good job early in the game letting you play.
Yeah.
And then late in the game, it
got a little ticky-tack.
Yeah, real ticky-tack. And I was like, well, if you're going to start the game being ticky-tack and finish the game ticky-tack, I ain't got a problem with it.
Right.
But you got to set the tone early. Hey, we ain't going to have the hand check. We're not going to have those things. But for them to let you play all the way out and then towards the end, I'm not saying that cost us the Riverview game. I'm not saying that. I think Riverview is a good team, and I think Riverview will go on to win some games in regional and got as good a shot as anybody to go win state. They've got some players. They play hard defense, and they always come up with a loose ball. I mean, they're just physical and get after it. So,
well, they double team, and if you try to dribble the basketball against Riverview against their double team guy, you're probably not going to get through the dribble. And if you look back to the Riverview game, and of course you mentioned the Pangburn game, we win 57-53, beat Clinton 53-46, and then obviously win the Mountain View game up 41-40. But I want to talk a little bit about the Riverview game. Riverview jumped out 10-1. And it was 10-3 at the end of the quarter. And then the Hounds had a massive second quarter. And then you go in, you're leading by 8, and then
held them to 3 that quarter?
I think that's right. Yeah. In the second quarter. And then we're tied going into the fourth quarter. I mean, we're tied, and we end up losing 61-49, and it was a lot closer than that. But to kind of give kudos to Riverview, Riverview was trailing in the finals against Cave City, 13 going into the fourth quarter. trailing by 13, and won the basketball game. And they did the same thing to us as what they did to Cave City, is they just turned up the defensive pressure when they needed to. And that's a lot like that. Speaks volume about the Osceola Seminoles, because that's what those guys can do also. They can just seem like they say, okay, we're down by 8 here. Oh, there's late in the game, and let's just turn up that defense. But how impressive were the Hounds against Mountain View? And we'll have that call. We'll have that call. We'll have the first 3-point shot. We'll have our next 3-point shot, and then we'll have the coach's report and the player of the game and all that too. But I mean, it's about an 8-minute video that we put together. But you go into a regional, and you look at how these teams are seeded, and you look. I mean, it's Osceola, Manila, Walnut Ridge, Rivercrest, and that's 1 through 4, and then Riverview, Cave City, Rosebud, Newport. And you look, just like we said a while ago, I could go, well, I'm not sure about any of these guys, where Osceola and Riverview may be. I mean, they're the number 1 seed for a reason. But I look at any of these guys, say any of them could make a run. I mean, I think legitimately.
Cave City's this close to not being there.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right.
I mean,
and
to finish a 2.
That is correct.
That just speaks volume about your conference.
Yeah.
Harding, I think, was a 6 or a 7.
Right, and they're solid. They got such a late start.
Double overtime?
Yeah, that's correct. What a basketball game. We were there and watching that game. But Harding had a losing record this year, but I mean, obviously they struggled early. I mean, they're 5 weeks later than most everybody else. 5-6 weeks later than everybody else. When you play for a state championship and you have to go through that rung of the long drawn out playoff system, and you're going to be behind in basketball, and especially when you've got kids in football that play basketball, or they can't get started in the basketball if you didn't have any kids. I mean, they just don't get started. So, but that just speaks volume about Cave City. But the Hounds just a tremendous run in the tournament, winning an 8-9 game, which we had to win, beating a 5 seed, beating a 4 seed, and almost beating a 1 seed. I mean, we had to play the top dogs. You had to play the top dogs. But, I mean, I think it was just a very, 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 very good tournament for the Hounds. And I look forward to this regional tournament. And tremendous challenge, as you say. I mean, probably not very many people are going to give anybody in our conference much of a chance. They might say, well, Riverview probably has a chance, and because they play the 4 seed Rivercrest Colts, and Rivercrest Colts are going, we think we're good enough to win it. And but it's Osceola and Newport in round 1, Cave City and Walnut Ridge, Riverview and Rivercrest, and then Manila will take on Rosebud, the Ramblers. And they're all toss-ups. So I'm excited about what's going to happen, my friend. I think it could be very exciting for the Hounds. And we'll get into a few other things right here. I did want to mention about a couple of first of all, let's talk about the girls' basketball team. The girls, they had a great run. They won a game in a tournament and then lost a 48-43 game against a real good Pangburn team. But talk a little bit about the girls' run.
Led that whole game.
Yes.
And Pangburn was finished out 2.
Let me look.
I think they went to the finals. Or they end up losing to Rosebud that game.
They are. Well, they were actually a 4, and they actually lost that ball game. So they're a 4. They'll take on Manila, who's a number 1 seed. And the girls, Mountain View will play Corning. Clinton will play Osceola. And I really like that Clinton bunch, to be quite frank with you. And then Hoxie plays Harding Academy. So. But our girls won a big basketball against Riverview. Defeated them several times over the course of the last few days, and then lose a tough one, 48-43 to Pangburn. But a basketball team that loses a couple of seniors, but generally speaking, all the starters coming back. Talk about the depth that we have, and those young kids. A lot of freshmen playing on that basketball team, starting 3.
Yeah, you'll lose a few seniors, but to talk like David said about the freshmen that moved up. Washam, Hembry, Davis, Neal, all moved up during the middle of the season. 10th graders next year, so it's
right.
It's almost like it's their real first year of playing. You obviously get Head back. That's a big
She's
bonus.
A player.
I don't know how many points she averaged a game. 17, 18?
I talked to Coach Thomas the other day, and right at 20. Okay. And a little short of 500 points on the year. 488 or something, and he was certainly hoping to get another game. He said, if I get another game, I can get her above 500 for sure.
Yeah.
And he was hoping for that. He didn't really know the record, and I don't know the record either, and I've been trying to find a time to call some folks to find out. But I know that Shannon Ray averaged 20 points a game, and they played 25 games, so that would put her at 500 or above. And then and I would assume that she's probably the leading scorer. She played for Coach Kenny Black. Kenny had some great basketball teams, but anyway, it was a great visit with Coach Thomas, and we talked about a lot of things about the gym, and I want to get into that. When we redid our, not even on the list to talk about today, but when we redid our front of the lobby of the gymnasium, we had to move a lot of trophies, we had to move a lot of pictures, we had to move a lot of plaques, and we haven't gotten them back out and haven't gotten them back to where they need to go. And so I'm going to make I'm going to got a concentrated effort to do that, because we need to honor kids where we can honor kids. Mm-hmm. If there's a kid that has something, for example, John Allen, 11-time All-State track performer, 11 different state titles. So I mean, his picture needs to be hanging in that lobby. But and from we talk about Josh Nation and his daughter. I mean, hitting 600 and almost 670, like over six. What was it, Josh? 661 in girls softball. That's absolutely unheard of. That needs not only mentioned, but we need to recognize her. Maybe with a picture and all-conference player. But lots of folks that we could honor that have already been honored, that we need to get that done. And I'm going to take the bull by the horns and see if I can work on that. I know I'll get help from Coach Heisley, and I know I'll get some help from Mr. Bunch to try it, because there's lots of space there. They just haven't had time to get it done.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they just take somebody stepping up and say, it's time to get it done. And I want to do that, and I know those guys will help us. But I do want to ask you this. I want to talk a little bit about Razorback basketball. I want to talk a little bit about Razorback baseball. Hogs go 2 out of 3, lose the first game for the first time in 27 years. And as the coach said, Van Horn just said, when you go out there and play every day, you got a chance to win, you got a chance to lose in college baseball. And it's one game over the course of 50, or 60 that they're going to play. So you're going to lose some baseball games. Talk about the weekend of Hogs.
Lose the first one to win the last one.
Absolutely right.
That's the way. That's got to be your goal now. I mean, hey, we lost that one and to a team we probably shouldn't have lost to.
Right.
It seems like Connor Nolan just ain't really sharp yet.
He'll get there.
He's had some struggles, last year dealing with some injuries and things like that. I hope that the guy can get back to where he was as a freshman.
Right.
I mean, I remember when he come in, played football, and then just came right into baseball, had some big outings. But the Hogs got a lot of holes to fill.
Yes, they do.
Knops, when you lose a guy like that who literally came in every big situation and just sat people down,
He's going to close the door.
somebody else has got to step up to that, because he won a lot of games for him just to come in and say, hey, I'm going to throw 4 innings. I know I'm the closer, but I'll throw 4.
Yes, sir.
And then you play at Omaha, and he's like, yeah, I'll start.
Yeah.
I don't
I'll give
care.
you as much as
And then the next game, I'll close. I don't care. Still got the big bats with Bobby Moore and Wallace, and you got some of those guys back, but you lost a lot of talent and some holes to fill. And Dave Van Horn does it better than anybody. He'll get it figured out. It seems like the Hogs kind of laid off from last year when they played North Carolina State. And it's almost bomb or bust when they get up there. Not really looking for a good pitch to maybe just get a base hit. Looking for the big stick, and he'll get it worked out. The Hogs will be fine. They'll end up a quality team, and hope they get back to Omaha, and I think that they will. But don't panic. Don't hit the panic button with Dave Van Horn. I promise you the guy knows what he's doing.
Well, and you talk about hitting the panic button, as everybody did when the Hogs started in basketball 0-3 in the conference. I mean, everybody pressed the panic button.
Yeah.
Let's fire the coaches. We got these no good player. And I say everybody, but those people on Facebook or social media or Twitter that want to voice those opinions about how bad we are, and a lot of times, what people fail to realize is you're talking about 18, 19, 20-year-old kids and that are college kids, and you're on there, I can't play a lick, and this guy cost us a game. And And I mean, it's always a team game. But anyway, talk about the Hogs who have really turned it around. I mean, my goodness.
It's really tough to really judge a coach by 1 year.
Right.
I mean, you got to look at the full body of work. I mean, as far as winning 20 games every year that he's been here, the things that he's done for the program, the recruits he's getting. I mean, it's kind of silly to think that people would want to write him off. Now we need something else. I mean, relax.
Relax.
Things happen. If you don't think that he's trying to win every game, you're sadly mistaken. And if you don't think the kids are trying to win every game, you're sadly mistaken. They go out there and play hard.
I think when you look at the box score of those first 3 games and the rotation of the minutes, and then you look at what we've done the last 10, 12, 15 games, you'll see a tremendous difference in those people that were getting minutes and those people who are getting minutes now. And obviously he's worked into what he considers a solid rotation, a winning rotation, a rotation that plays together. They're 7, 8 solid, and they're not going to play 12 guys. It's not his style, and he likes guys to get out there and get warmed up and stay warmed up and give them a little break and get right back in there. And if you're playing 10, 12, 13 guys, you can't do that, but because they have to sit too long. All of them have to sit too long, but I like this basketball team. They got a big week coming up. They go to Florida tomorrow night. Then at Kentucky at home. What a game that'll be Saturday. Bud Walton will be rocking. Then they end up with LSU at home, and then go back to Tennessee. Go to Tennessee and play. What a ball game Saturday that they won. And but anyway, we're big things for the Hog basketball team. Big things for the Hog baseball, and we've got Coach Spears hopefully coming up here in just a few minutes. But I want to do this right now. I want to play what is. Let me get it here. Our Bank of England Mortgage Company post-game show, our Unity Health Newport Player of the Game, our Subway Inside the Newport Walmart Coaches Show, and our Customized Vision Care Look Back, all in one package here. And it's the couple of shots by John Moore in the tournament against Mountain View. And I even posted, and I've told you, to have a great call, you got to have chance or circumstance that happens. It's just got to be a situation where something great is not supposed to happen. And it even Ben said on the air, you're down by whatever you are, and then you have no chance at any interval of where you were, from the 1 minute mark to the 30-second mark to the 15 to the 5.6. You really had no chance to win the game. You didn't have any chance, and then you win the game. And you win the game, and you talk about circumstance and chance, a shot that hits the rim, the backboard, or I guess hits the backboard, rim, backboard in the in the hole. So, incredible. And I know you talked to me and said, I couldn't let Ben say anything, and just the excitement. Sometimes it's overwhelming to control because of the excitement that you have for your team. And but what a call! Talk about the call.
Play the video, and then I'll
play the. Let's do this. Let's play the video, and it's about an 8-minute video, and we'll talk about that.
Moore brings it up. Step back. M&P Insurance three-pointer is good. And they foul immediately Johnson. Johnson will go to the other end to shoot 2.
5.6 seconds to go. It's a 2-point ball game.
It's a 2-point game. 5.6 seconds to go.
Hounds got to have a stop here. Rebound and a quick get rid of it.
It's long. Crack. Board. Goes to Moore. Moore goes up. Shot up.
Get it to go! He got it to go! Oh my goodness, folks! Go crazy! Go crazy!
The Greyhound.
Oh my gosh!
Court, folks.
Unbelievable! John Moore at the buzzer! Hounds win and punch their ticket here to Mountain View! Unbelievable, folks!
Unbelievable, Hayden Schultz. The Hounds trailed the
John
entire
Moore!
ball game. And John Moore
called game!
Wow, that is
my
absolutely
gosh.
unbelievable. Josh.
We've said it once. We've said it again, Ben. How about them Greyhounds, baby?
Man. That's unbelievable, Hayden Schultz. That is unbelievable.
I thought he was hammered there as he shot the 3. I knew they weren't going to call it regardless of the outcome, and you shouldn't. And it somehow rattles home at the buzzer. And the Hounds punch a ticket to a regional berth. And guess what, Ben? We're coming back tomorrow.
We'll be back. No, excuse me. It'll be Friday. We're off tomorrow. We'll come back Friday and play here. Listen to this Greyhound Nation celebrating here tonight. Listen to these Greyhound fans.
Unbelievable effort from both teams.
Well, the fight in these Hounds just to not quit, Hayden.
Well, I want to.
Game's over. Game's over with 17 seconds. You're down by, what, 5, 6 points? But these Hounds didn't see it that way. Mountain View thought they had it in the bag. Great game by those young men, but the Hounds just refused to lose. They would not take no for an answer, and John Moore comes up clutch with a big 3-point shot.
That is a gritty
Buzzer
bunch
beater.
of Mountain View.
That's unbelievable. The way that ended right there is absolutely unbelievable. We're going to go down to the court now with David Black. Josh, you want to switch the audio on over? We're not going to play the intro.
We'll talk with Pooty then first, then we'll talk to Nolan, then John Moore. Pooty, you hit the 3-pointers, you kept hitting them, and just let me tell you what, for an 9th grader, you're doing great, my friend. What does it feel like to see John Moore hit that big shot?
Good. I about cried.
I about cried too when everybody started jumping on top of everybody. I didn't want to get anybody hurt. I hope everybody joins us. No, tell me about this big victory.
It was crazy, man. Coach did tell us hold them to 40. We just had to get 41.
Hey guys, hey, hold on. Keep going. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. John Moore, incredible comeback. We didn't have a chance. We didn't have a prayer. We came in here as a 9 seed, and nobody gave us any credit to do anything. And we're going to a regional, and we're playing Friday night. Real quick, absolutely incredible, my friend. How did that get done?
Man, I just believe. My coach believed in me. He's like, John, they get it, take it. I don't know what to say. I'm speechless. I about cried too, man.
John Moore, glad you're in Newport, Arkansas, my
Me
friend.
too.
The Unity Health Newport Player of the Game. John Moore had a baby. Y'all ready? Okay, the Subway Coaches Report. Coach, I know you've coached a few years in your life. I know you coached a lot of AAU basketball. Have you ever seen anything as incredible as that?
No, sir. No, sir. No, I'm at a loss for words right now.
Well, that's understandable. great crowd. I want you to talk about the folks from Newport, Arkansas that showed up tonight.
Yeah, they don't understand how much that means to the boys. Like, we've had some decent crowds at Newport, and up to this point, we've let them down. You know, so the big message there was they're here. What are we going to do with it? I mean, can't do much more than that right there.
Coach, I know you want to get in there and celebrate with them, but I want to just ask you just maybe one more question. We've talked about the resiliency of these kids. 5 games in 6 days. Nobody outside of us, nobody but us, gave us a real chance to make it to a regional because we're a 9 seed. We got to win 3 in a row. We're on the road. My friend, we're going to a regional.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we're a 9 seed, and everybody wants to keep reminding me of that for whatever reason, but a 9 seed just made regionals. Let me tell you a story real quick. We went to halftime 20-15, right? What's our goal of the season per quarter?
At 10?
10 points per quarter. So I told them, I looked them in the face, and I said, we can expect them to get 40. Can we get to 41?
Unbelievable.
And the final was 41-40.
Unbelievable. Coach, I know you got to go. Congratulations. An awesome night to be a Newport Greyhound. Our program is on the upswing, and we're going to another regional. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Go Hounds, man.
As always, go Hounds.
Go Hounds.
Cameraman slacking.
Well, no, probably the producer-director, which happens to be me tonight, is probably slacking a little bit, and hopefully that we're on the air. We're back on the air, and waiting on Caleb Spears to possibly come back. But Hayden Schultz, what a great call. Talk a little bit about it.
Well, when it happened, that's the first thing I can remember is going down there and saying, I don't know what I said.
That's correct.
That's what I told you was I don't know if I messed up, if I said anything bad. We'll have to go back and watch it. We need to go watch it now,
right?
To make sure, because I don't want to. I don't want you to get in trouble because I said because whatever I said was right off the tongue.
Sure.
And I was like, I don't know with a shot like that going down if I said anything. That probably should have been said on live air, but it worked out. It's just one of those you talked about, circumstance and things got to go right. And when you have no opportunity and then you hit it to win, it's like, wow, there's nothing really to say. I mean, it just kind of happens. I mean, you talk about Newport and Greyhounds and how much you love it.
Absolutely.
People talked about the Glen Rose. They were telling me about that. Oh, I don't know if that's better than Glen. And it's just emotion. It's pure heart. I mean, when you love Newport and you love the Greyhounds, it doesn't matter if it's tennis. It doesn't matter. I mean, when it's a Newport and they win like that, it just all pours out of you. And I'm just glad to call Newport my home.
I got to ask you this, Hayden, and I've done it a long time. Everybody knows that story. When you get that opportunity and you don't know what you said, and then you look at it and you go, did you not say honestly, what a great call? Did you say after you saw it and you saw what you said and you were so excited? I mean, golly gee, I was excited because you were excited. I was excited because of the circumstance that happened on the court. And I mean, any guy that's a broadcaster, I would have loved to have called that play. But I'm so happy that you got to do it, and the excitement that you brought, I couldn't have done it any better. I could not have been any more excited. I couldn't, and I've always said this in broadcasting. When the play-by-play guy hushes, or I say shuts up, when the play-by-play guy shuts up, as a color commentator, it's your turn to talk. And several times you quit, and then Ben tried to talk, and you didn't even know that he said anything because you told me, you said, I don't know if Ben said anything or not. He must have hit his microphone because I didn't hear him. I didn't hear him. He wasn't real loud. And what about the fans? I mean, just how dramatic was it? I mean, it will go down, folks. It will go down. And I've said it, I've posted it, and it will go down as one of the greatest moments in Newport High School basketball history. because of those things that we just talked about, and you and Ben Black are on the end of that call. And
I wish that I'd have gave Ben a little bit, which he got a little bit at the end, but when I look back, I said Ben was talking the whole time.
He was, but that's okay.
And I didn't. And honestly, it wasn't a let me get my shine.
No,
I had absolutely no idea Ben was talking. We were sitting down eating, watching it. I was like, my bad, Ben. I was like, I promise you, if I'd have heard you, I'd have let you talk. But I was like, the crowd. I mean, how they just went crazy, and I don't know. It was like almost a blackout or a out of body experience. I don't know how to explain it, but it was a really good feeling that night.
Well, it was a great feeling, and I mean, you won, and again, you won when you really didn't think you were going to win, and I mean, I thought when the kid from Mountain View went to the line to shoot the 2 free throws, I mean, obviously the game's over, and I hate it. I mean, Mountain View's a scrappy bunch, and I mean, and they deserved a better fight. I mean, we deserved a better fight up there last year against Glen Rose in the first round of the state tournament. We deserved a better fight, and it came up on my Facebook memories of somebody had posted where the guy's shooting a basketball and it's right there in the palm of his hand and 0 on the clock, and it was just a great shot.
Reverse layup.
Yeah, it didn't work. And if you're Mountain View, you say it just didn't work, and you can see the dejection on those kids. And I mean,
those are two different things, though.
Oh yeah.
One of them was human error, and one of them was just a kid hit a shot.
That's correct. Yeah, that is correct. Yeah. But I will say this: it was a great call. I was glad to be a part of it. I was glad it was there. And Josh, I commend you on you getting the shots that you got. I mean, you have to do that. I mean, to see the people running down the court and out of the stands, and they just burst out onto the court, and I'm in the far corner over there, and I got so excited, I just raised my hand up, and I just kind of walked down a little bit, and the PA announcer kept telling me, we got to get him off the court. We got to get him off the court. And I said, he said, somebody's going to get hurt. I said, I understand, but it's not my job.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah, I'm not going to get him off the court, because I thought it was just great how our fans responded in a situation where you had no chance, and then you had a little bit of chance, and then it happened. It was a great call, my friend, great call. We're still waiting on Caleb but anyway, we got to have to kill some time right here. We may just replay that thing.
Well, no, I'm going to announce that I'm going to stay with Cable 15 TV. I did call David Monday and this morning.
We're honored.
And let him know that the letters.
Cards and letters.
It's kind of an inside joke when David does a basketball game or a football game that I don't get to attend, and he has to do the play-by-play. He always comes back and says, "You wouldn't believe the texts and calls and letters and cards that I received of wanting me to just stay on." And I said, "Well, if that's the case, then you can take it." So it's kind of my turn to repay it. I called him. It might have been Sunday. But I called and I said, I just want to announce that I've had some offers to go elsewhere, but I'm going to stay with Cable 15 TV.
Just awesome. And you know what? If it wouldn't shock me if somebody didn't call. I mean, you were on Channel 7, Channel 8. I don't know the rest of them. I mean, it was pretty big. And
I'll say this because everybody keeps on talking about it, and I mean, it was a cool moment to have, and to have that thrown on TV. But if it was anybody else that hit the shot, if it was the Razorbacks, if it was the Golden State Warriors, and I made that call, it wouldn't have been the same.
Oh, no doubt about that. Coach, come on in, sit down. We'll get you right on here in just a second. I know it's been
Let's slide him in the middle.
Yes, sir. Just as a matter of fact, come on in. We'll just come on in. We'll get you in, brother. Just go right over there. You get right here in the middle. And Hayden, there's another chair right over there. It works. That chair over there works.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, I fixed that up good. What's up, brother?
Hey, how's it going?
Fresh off the baseball field, I can tell.
Fresh, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Caleb Spears joined us. We've been talking about you going to come in and visit with us and talk a little baseball. We welcome you to the program. And
thank you for having me.
You're welcome, sir. First of all, kind of remind the folks, we've had you on before. I've interviewed you before. Tell the folks about Caleb Spears. Tell us about you, where you came from, and where you've been. You've coached before, and now you're a head baseball coach. Give us a little history about yourself.
All right. My roots grow from Searcy. That's where I wasn't born there. I was born in Texas, but I pretty much was raised in Searcy when I was about 5 years old. Went to Harding Academy, graduated there in high school, moved on to Harding University, where I played a little baseball and played a little football, kind of a little dossier and a little everything, just because at some point you figure out you're not going to play sports the rest of your life. You got to build your resume. So playing a little football, playing a little baseball helped that resume out a lot. So when I graduated there, I moved on to get my master's in teaching, and that's where I fell in the lap of Melbourne. That was my first coaching job there. I taught history there. Been there for 3 years, and I loved it there. It had its challenges like any first opportunity of coaching. But I learned a lot that has allowed me to move on and make myself a better coach and be able to do what I'm doing right now. And really, it also allowed me to really appreciate what I do.
Right, absolutely.
I'm really blessed here to really be a baseball coach. I mean, I'm football, and I help with football, but mostly, I get to do my thing whenever. And Coach Hinesley is great about that and allowing me to come out and work on the field and do what I need to do. And so that's kind of where I'm from. I met my beautiful wife Megan at Batesville. That's where she grew up, and she worked previously at Cedar Ridge. Hopefully we'll get her over at Newport next year. But recently had my 3-week-old
Gonna
daughter.
ask. Yeah.
Charlie Gray. She's the light of my life. She's awesome. Probably not ideal to have a baby right before baseball season, but
there's never a bad time for those. Never a bad time.
But I indeed did tell my wife, I said we got to plan a little bit better.
Yes, sir.
Maybe do a summer baby. But it's definitely been a trip. Like I said, I was on the phone on the way over here. She's feeling a little sick, and so it's like, oh, I'll do this. I'll be all bad. I'll pick this up on the way home. So never a dull moment in the Spears household right now. So,
Hayden, what have you got for Coach?
Oh, you put me on the spot.
Well,
I'll just talk about some of the players that you've got, that have moved up. It's a first-year coaching job. Some of the players that played junior high last year that are moving up, some of those ninth graders, some of those underclassmen, and then a little bit about who you got that backbone, your upperclassmen. Just talk a little bit about what you kind of expect from your upperclassmen, and then opposed to your underclassmen, what you expect those guys to do.
Absolutely. I've been blessed beyond belief to the situation that I'm put in as far as everything that this town has done for me and for our program. We just landed at $6,000 for our program on our fundraiser, and so not only blessed financially, not only blessed with support from fans, but on top of that, I've been blessed with a lot of talent. And a lot of this talent, gets overlooked by the record. 4-12 record, and probably the same the year before. I don't know, but a lot of this talent gets overlooked because of just the kids' direction. There wasn't a lot of direction. There wasn't a lot of focus. You had a lot of me. And that's just the way it was. And so having to come in and really get these upperclassmen to step up and be leaders, and on top of that, talk to these freshmen and let these freshmen know, hey, you're going to have to be a leader too. I've got some big time freshmen that I'm going to lean on, and our team is going to lean on heavily, and we'll talk about them here in a little bit. But as far as upperclassmen go, we've got a very talented, about 4 or 5 guys that are going to do a lot for us this year. Starting out, obviously, we all know Will Keaty. He's going to do a lot for us. He's big time. He's our big time senior. Like we said, we scrimmaged tonight, and he did really well on the mound tonight. But he's going to be the guy that we lean on as our number one. Not far behind him though, and we'll talk about him here in a little bit. But Ethan Norris is not far behind him, and he pitched tonight, and he did really well. So we're seeing really good production out of our 1 and 2, which is great for conference. That's big whenever you can have guys that go 4 or 5 innings deep, and then you don't have to rely on much arms behind that. And so Will, like I said, Will's going to be a big part of it. He's going to be mostly catching for us, but he'll be pitching, and he's going to be a big bat for us. in our lineup. The next guy that is a big guy who's taking kind of a behind-the-scenes role, but you won't miss him, is Brady Cook. He's done a really good job for us this year in developing and understanding his role. Immediately going into it, he's like, I was like, hey, I'm going to have a very stout outfield with C.J. Young and Jeremiah. We'll talk about them in a second, and then having a younger freshman come in. And I looked at him and I said, your spot to play and the valuable role you're going to play is DH.
Right.
And he said, all right, let's go.
Let's go.
And he has put to work. He has done so much in development. We've really worked on his plate discipline. And what I preach to these guys is, all these – it makes me sick sometimes watching the MLB with, we're hitting home runs and home runs. You live by the home run, you die by it. And it's like, guys, I care about one stat and one stat only, and that's on-base percentage.
Get on a base.
Get on base any way you possibly can. And Brady does that. In the scrimmage tonight, he got on twice. Did he have a hit? No. He got hit twice. And that's just the way it is. And I teach these guys to celebrate those small things, like getting hit. Or, for instance, quality at-bats. Some people think, a quality at-bat is I get a hit. Or, I do something great. Quality at-bat to me is how much can you battle yourself with those pitchers? How much can you raise that pitch count? And sometimes, like tonight we had a 9-pitch count. Guy struck out. I looked at him and I said, that was a good quality at-bat. And that's something that we have to preach to these kids, because a lot of times you get punished for striking out. And it sucks. But you get 10 in high school baseball, you get 10 pitches on you.
You get 6 or 7 cuts at it.
that's a big deal.
Yes,
and
sir.
so Brady's really coming to his own. He's got a lot of power to him, so he's going to do really well for us. Another big one that's really grown and developed, and actually in our BP sessions has proven to be the power hitter, is Jeremiah Godare.
Really?
He is. He by far none is he's got a powerful swing. He's about the only guy right now that has gotten close to hitting it out in BP, which I teach these guys. I say I'd rather take a double. I'd take a single. And those doubles and singles eventually in line drives turn to home runs. And so my biggest thing with him is contact and plate discipline. I just hit that with all my starters: contact, plate discipline. And your arms, your leg, and our bat, and that bat will do the rest. And he's done a really good job. He's also going to be my crew and my captain in center field this year. He's got a big voice. Him and CJ really, I could switch them out. There's not much of a difference. CJ and him have been. Will looked at me and said, "It's nice to have an outfield." That's really what he said. He looked at me the other night when CJ made a heck yeah of a play, and he's like, "It's really nice to have an outfield." I said, "Yeah, it is." I said that sometimes the outfield gets overlooked, almost like offensive linemen. But when you have a good outfield, it makes it really easy to know that you can make some bad pitches and you're going to have some help. And so Jeremiah and CJ, I can't rant and rave about it. I really honestly feel like this is going to be a good year for him. I've really worked with him on contact and plate discipline, and I told him, I said, listen, you put the ball anywhere. There ain't a person in high school baseball.
Yeah,
if he gets it in play, if he puts
he's
it in
a
play.
Ground ball on the left side of the infield.
Yes, sir.
That's
Make it,
trouble.
yeah. Yes, sir. Get on base.
It is unbelievable how fast he is. And like last night, tonight was a huge win for me with him, because one thing that's a misconception, and I learned this from actually Coach Allison over at Valley View, is third base is easier to steal than second. Mm-hmm. Hands down, it's a lot because of the position of the pitcher. Mm-hmm. You can play mind games with the pitcher. And tonight, CJ stole third, and I about came out of my seat. And it was one of those things I just said, at some point, you'll have to feel it. I'm going to tell you at some point, but at some point, you're so fast, you just need to feel it. If they don't know you're there, if they don't pay attention to you, that's their fault. You're 4.4 speed.
Baseball IQ.
Come on. And he picked up on it tonight, because there's one time he did it, and I said, watch it, come back. Sure enough, he's so smart. He came back. He did it now, man. I came out of my seat. I was so happy, because these kids are learning the actual game of baseball. And that's what's important to me, is that they learn and they love and they appreciate the game. But going back to our big-time players, another one would be Jacob Ozier. Mm-hmm. He's kind of been out for us a lot, but he's really come into his own and developed. He's got really good hands, and he's going to do a lot of things for us. Like tonight, he catched. He wasn't the best, but he said, "Hey, I'll do it." He stood up and he was a yes sir situation, and that's the way I teach these boys. With our motto, family, that why is saying yes. And so Jacob's done a good job. His bat's coming in. It's just a lot. It was just a lot of picking back up. He took 3 months off with that surgery, and so he's just learning. He's picking back up. And we've got a good group of seniors. Jason Williams is going to play some valuable innings for us. Braden Taylor is going to play some valuable innings for us. And so that upper echelon of upperclassmen is going to be a good. It's just working on molding them to be leaders. They've never been in that role. And so, Andre Rodriguez is another one. He is going to be an absolute beast, I promise you, on the mound. My biggest goal is calming him down, and every time something bad happens, say it in the head. Get ahead.
Yes, sir.
Get ahead. And that getting ahead just builds that confidence. His confidence has just blown up. It's not where I want it to be, but he is definitely not what he was when I first got a hold of him. And so that's big. And I told the boys, I said, he's going to be a big part of what we do. Y'all need to boost that confidence and allow him to thrive. And he's really done good in the last couple scrimmages. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he does. He's got that wonky delivery, which will be great coming after someone like Ethan or Will, and just really throw people off. And
yeah, kind of a three-quarter guy.
Mm-hmm. And he's actually got full submarine action. He's tried it, and some of it's good, but I don't know if I'm going to let him loose in the game yet. Maybe in the JV game. But like I said, I've been blessed with and a lot of it was maybe at the beginning of the year you might not have thought, hey, this kid was going to be something for us, but these guys have really accepted the challenge. They've accepted the call, which was we've got to be better. We've got to step up. We've got to work, and a lot of it's also working 5 days a week. That was a hard task for a lot of these kids because it's just not something that they're used to.
Right.
But I told them, I said, listen, you go out there and you look at all the teams that win championships.
They're working.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
And just example A tonight was a big one. I told them, I said, there's not a lot of teams in Arkansas right now that played like you did. But we did, because it's important that we got, we get as much live action as we can and get as much work as we can in. And so these upperclassmen have really done a good job in stepping up. But I can't say enough about this younger group. A lot of them are going to play a vital role. The big name out of all that is Ethan Norris. I can't tell you the kind of talent that this kid is going to have.
Very talented.
At the
played
end
a lot of good baseball too.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
played, yeah.
He's hopped on that Sticks program, and I've kind of been talking with him and his dad and just keeping up with what's going on there. But I can't tell you enough. Like he's going to be something very special his senior year. And so one of the biggest things that I've told him, he's baseball smart. He's got that down. But I've really been pushing him in the weight room, getting get the muscle, get stronger. Mm-hmm. And I told him, I said, that weight and that strong, you're gonna see that with the way you hit, with the way you pitch. And so that's my biggest thing for him is getting stronger, getting bigger. Which for that entire freshman class, that's the biggest goal. We got a lot of small kids in that, and I'm just sitting here praying. I'm like, please grow. Like it'd be really nice next year if you were 5'8", 5'9", not 4 foot. So. But we're living, we're loving it. That's a very fun group. Another one, like I said, another big one is Jack Sampson.
Right.
He's done a lot of good things for us. He's going to be again one of those guys that you call upon, and when we need him to catch, he'll catch for Will. When we need him to be at first base, he'll be at first base. When we need him to pitch, he's done a really good job in coming in and just doing what we ask him to do. And he's going to be very special too. Like that two-headed monster is going to be fun to watch over the next 4 years. And like I said, you just name it. There's so much talent in that group. Jake Keaty's going to play some valuable innings. Hayden Tarwater is going to play some valuable innings. And I told a lot of these freshmen that I was like, at some point, guys, the stable's full. It's not that you're not good. It's just we've got a full stable.
Right.
And so do something for yourself. Go out there and craft something. One of those things, Hayden has done a phenomenal job at being a base runner. Mm-hmm. I told him, I said, that's a big role. I was that my sophomore year in high school, and I was the go-to guy. And if you can impress me on that, I mean, that doesn't just lead for being a base runner now, but now I'm going to look at you next year and be like, hey, you worked hard for me there. What else can you work hard for me? And so really teaching these freshmen to accept that role. Another one's Ty Nicholson, accept the role of probably just being a pitcher for varsity. And he's done a really good job coming in and pitching. And like I said, I could go down the line and really just pick out on all these freshmen and what they do and the potential I see in them. And so I was talking with Coach Frost the other day, and I was just sitting there licking my chops being like, man, this freshman group senior year, the talent they have behind them and the talent they have with them, it's like, I'm not going to know what to do with them.
Right.
I'm really excited. I'm licking my chops just thinking about what the next 4 years is going to look like for Newport baseball.
I want to ask you this. If you're playing today, and you've got some guys in between, I know Reese Kiefner, and I read your article.
Yes, Reese.
Yeah, you talk about more second base. No, that's all right, because when you start naming them, I mean, sometimes you're going to leave guys out, but I did read your article and a very, very good article about us and what we're talking about right now. But you mentioned Reese, probably a second baseman.
Reese is going to be our lockdown middle infielder.
There you go.
And like I said, that's another additive of the sophomore group that, it's small, but it's there, and he is going to be a vital role. Tonight he pitched, and he has really come into his own. He's going to be a stud reliever for us. He's got a nasty little curveball. He's gotten a little bit stronger, and so he's really gotten very, very accurate. Like tonight, I think
he's a strike thrower, yeah.
And that's huge for us. And, I've got 13 guys right now that can throw strikes consistently. Now, I mean, will one of them every now and then have a bad inning? Absolutely, but can I throw somebody out there and be like, oh boy, this is going to be bad? There's not a single one that I can think of that 13 that's just like, oh boy, like we're not putting him out there.
Right, yeah.
I mean, and there's going to be some of those, I call them JV pitchers that will probably have to get some innings because I told them, and they still don't get it. They will. But, we've got 4 games a week come next Monday, and so there'll be some times where I call on some of these freshmen to come in there and do a job because, Reese will have pitched, or Will, or, Ethan, or some of these big-time varsity pitchers for us, and we'll just have to pitch by committee.
You talk about the pitching. If you're gauging strength of team, what would you say our biggest strength is? Would it be the pitching? Would it be the defense? Would it be us hitting the baseball? Where's our strength lie in the Greyhound baseball team this year?
I will have to say, right there, it's kind of a mix, because right now the batting has come around.
Okay.
And a lot of that is just we went straight back down to the basics, and we got a lot of these kids who were talented to be able to swing properly. And be able to have good quality at bats. The biggest thing is what I'm seeing is, like I said, we've got strike throwers, but we're taking walks. Mm-hmm. We're getting to the full counts, and it's not because our pitchers are throwing balls, but the simple fact we've got 10, 11 pitch at bats where our guys are taking the ball, but if that ball is going right down the pipe or close, we're making contact, and that's what I preach. And so I really honestly feel like we're going to have a very good offense. We're also going to have a very, very good pitching staff. And that pitching staff is going to be tested just because of how many games we play. But, like I said, there's not many guys that I sit there and I'm like, I'm not going to throw him out there for an inning. He's not going to do good. Every single one of them I feel like, hey, we're going to be able to throw you an inning and be done with it, and you be able to do a job. And the same thing with hitting. And I know you could probably go, oh, all this is good. But hitting-wise, there's not a single guy in our lineup, and you don't have this very often in high school baseball. There's not a single guy in that lineup, in my starting lineup right now, that I'm sitting there thinking, boy, that's an automatic out.
Right. Or one you've got to hide. I got to hide the 7-hole hitter. I got to hide the left fielder. I got to hide a third baseman. We're talented. We've got talent. A lot of us young talent, but you don't have to hide anybody in the lineup.
Absolutely, and that's one of those things that I had to sit a kid down, and actually it's Reese. I sat him down. I said, listen. He said, this is not Little League. This is high school, and this is why you are probably going to be the 9-hole. And it's the simple fact that dude can lay down a bunt beyond belief, and that dude can make contact like tonight. Dude made contact. and made something happen. You've got to have that in the bottom of your lineup. Look at Arkansas.
Yeah.
I mean, you have Jalen Battles in the bottom of the lineup, and that dude makes something happen, and that's what you have to have. There is no hiding anybody on this team. Everybody can make contact. Everybody can hit. Sure, we take our lumps striking out, but, I mean, who doesn't? But for the most part, if we're going to strike out, it's going to be 9-10 pitches on you. And that's the biggest thing.
Coach, you look at it, and sometimes when people have that myth, and I never was a coach like this when I did what I did, but a lot of times people say, well, the guy that plays in right field is the weakest player on the team. If you're on the team in high school baseball, if you're in the starting nine, you're not a weak link anywhere, regardless of the position. But, I mean, it's just as important to play right field as center field or left field.
Absolutely.
I mean, you got to have a guy catch a ball. You got to have a guy with a strong arm. You got to have a guy back up a base. And very important. Every position is important. Mm-hmm. And to go along with what you say about Reese, the 9-hole hitter has a lot better chance to hit than the 10-hole hitter or the 11-hole hitter or the 12-hole hitter.
Absolutely.
If you're in the top 9, you're doing real well, aren't you?
Absolutely. And that's one of those things that you just got to stress with these kids is it's like, I mean, at some point the stable's full, you know, and you just have to then go and craft and put, where can I put these people? You know, where can I put a guy that's going to make noise and then a guy who's going to do his job? That's the biggest thing, and one of the things we've stressed in BP is we have a challenge in BP and even in the cage in BP, which is our bunt, hit and run, move them over, drive them in. And they have to, every time that we do it, we keep track of it. Did you hit 3 out of 4? Did you get 4 out of 4? Did you get 2 out of 4? Did you do your job? And a classic example was a guy who's probably going to hit 400 for us this year. And Will Keaty hit a ground ball on the right side of the field, scored a run.
Yes, sir.
Was it something that he wanted? Probably not, but guess what? It did a job to help the team win.
You bet.
And so that's something you have to preach to these kids is unselfish baseball. We're not
changing the culture. The culture's changed. You can see that by talking to these kids, and I talk to a lot of them, and the excitement they have about going out there. And Hayden, I know you do too. You talk to these kids, and pretty excited. These kids are pretty excited about what this guy brings.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, talk about the 5 days a week and things like that. And, you know, not every kid loves it. You know, some are going to be like, I was one of those guys like, yeah, I'll go 7.
Right.
I just want to be out here. The excitement that you bring, obviously, the pullovers, that's a big thing, too. I love when the guys come to the basketball games and they're wearing their pullovers, they're wearing their T-shirts, wearing Newport baseball. I love that kind of stuff. But not to get real off topic, but next week – game week, is that correct?
Next week's game week.
And what day and who?
Monday. We start off Monday, and like I said, we go 4 weeks. So we'll be Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday.
Ooh.
For the entire month of March. April, we skim off a little bit to 3 a day a week just because we're playing conference, and it's Harding Academy and Pangburn and some of these bigger teams in our conference. You know, the upper end, some of the ones that you know aren't necessarily as good. I didn't mind playing, a couple more games around them, but those bigger games, I was kind of like, we need to take a little bit more break. Plus, in April, you don't want to burn them out. You know, you've got districts and you've got regional that you got to think about, and if you just go, you know, early in the season, everyone's got energy, everyone's loving it, everyone's having fun, but sometimes, as we know in long seasons, especially when you have 30 games, you know, it can be. You can get a little tired, and so I left a couple dates open there for us to rest, for us to have a little practice, just to kind of figure out what we need to fix for tournament time. But it'll be Monday, 28th at 5 o'clock. We'll be at BB, so playing the BB Badgers down there. I know the coach, Coach Chance Cleveland. I got to meet him this summer when I worked a camp down there. Coach Fullerton at Harding Academy puts on, and he's a great guy. He's a really good friend. He's done a really good job with the BB program there, and he has a lot of excitement. He's got a lot of youth, a lot like mine, that's coming up and doing a lot of good things. And so we're both kind of sitting there talking. We're like, man, we're really excited. And I'm the kind of guy I'm never going to shoot. I mean, I'm never going to be the kind of guy that sneaks around something. I don't want to sit there and be like, well, I'll sneak around. Well, we're not really good, even though I'm hiding a guy that throws 95. Why would I want to hide that? I've never been that kind of guy. I'm going to let you know, hey, I got a guy that throws 85. Come beat him.
Yeah.
Or
here's my cards.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, in the end, baseball's going to take care of it. Because in the end, it won't matter. My guy that throws 90 may suck that day. You probably will beat me. Baseball. Baseball is such a fickle beast, that anything can happen on any given day. We're just going to come prepared 100%, and this is the guys who are going to do it. Know their name because you're going to see the back of their jerseys when they score on you.
Well, we're excited. I mean, we're big baseball people and always have been. I mean, that's obvious, and excited for you and excited for the kids and the team. And we've looked at every possible way of possibly putting together, a game or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 12 or 15 or just, I'd mentioned to Johnny about, things that we can get into later. But anyway, Coach, good luck to you this year. Absolutely. Excited for you, excited for these kids, excited for the community. We need a community support, just like you've done each and every time that we've needed some money.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
The community will be there, but we need you to come to the games too.
Absolutely.
We need you to be at the games. That's important for our kids.
And that's the biggest thing that I'm going to try and do this year that maybe is, going above and beyond, but in the end, it's something that is also part of a culture you want to build. When people think about, hey, I want to go to a Newport high school baseball game, they're not thinking, oh, let's go to a high school baseball game. They're thinking, I'm in Minute Maid, I'm in Bush, and we're doing the whole 9 yards. I worked out the kinks tonight, and it still needs some work, but we've got some walk-up music for the boys.
That's what Hayden said.
We got some walk-out pitching for the boys. So, the pitchers will get to celebrate as well as the hitters will. And also, during between innings, we'll have some good music playing. But also during the innings, we'll have some stuff going on. So, you'll have your classic organ music, Charge or Rally Time or just whatever. We'll have our window glass breaking on a foul ball. We'll have our Jeopardy going to the pitching mound. Right. I'm bringing it all in because it's all, we're playing the game, but at the same time, I want everyone there having as much fun as those kids are out there.
It's going to be a great atmosphere, isn't it?
Absolutely. And, we might bring in some stuff where I've got some extra, like you said, you really enjoyed, our practice gear or, Amanda's done a really good job with selling some T-shirts. We might do a T-shirt raffle one night, or I might get Mr. Donnie and do some kind of fish fry or something to really bring the people out there and not just to feed people, but to get people to see what's going on.
Caleb Spears, we appreciate you taking time. I know you've got a baby to get home to, and you need to do that. And we just stay right there with us. And what we're going to do to get out, so Caleb can get out, is we're going to go back and replay the Bank of England, the player of the game, the coach's report, and the great call that he had at Mountain View the other night. We'll just play that right now.
Brings it up. Step back. M&P Insurance three-pointer is good. And they foul immediately Johnson. Johnson will go to the other end to shoot two.
5.6 seconds to go. It's a 2-point ball game.
It's a 2-point game. 5.6 seconds to go.
Brown's got to have a stop here. Rebound and a quick get it rid of it.
It's long. Track. Board. Goes to Moore. Moore goes up. Shot up.
Get it to go! He got it to go! Oh my goodness, folks! Go crazy! Go crazy!
The Greyhound.
Oh my gosh!
Court, folks.
Unbelievable! John Moore at the buzzer! Hounds win and punch their ticket here to Mountain View! Unbelievable, folks!
Unbelievable, Hayden Schultz. The Hounds trailed the
John Moore!
Ball game. And John Moore.
John Moore called game!
Wow, that is absolutely
gosh.
unbelievable. Josh.
We've said it once, we've said it again, Ben. How about them Greyhounds, baby?
Man. That's unbelievable, Hayden Schultz. That is unbelievable.
I thought he was hammered there as he shot the three. I knew they weren't going to call it regardless of the outcome, and you shouldn't. And it somehow rattles home at the buzzer. And the Hounds punch a ticket to a regional berth. And guess what, Ben? We're coming back tomorrow.
We'll be back. No, excuse me. It'll be Friday. We're off tomorrow. We'll come back Friday and play here. Listen to this Greyhound Nation celebrating here tonight. Listen to these Greyhound fans.
Unbelievable effort from both teams.
Well, the fight in these Hounds just to not quit, Hayden.
Well, I want to.
Game's over. Game's over with 17 seconds. You're down by what, 5-6 points? But these Hounds didn't see it that way. Mountain View thought they had it in the bag. Great game by those young men, but the Hounds just refused to lose. They would not take no for an answer, and John Moore comes up clutch with a big 3-point shot.
That is a gritty bunch of Mountain View.
That's unbelievable. The way that ended right there is absolutely unbelievable. We're going to go down to the court now with David Black. Josh, you want to switch the audio on over? We're not going to play the intro.
We'll talk with Pooty then first, then we'll talk to Nolan, then John Moore. Pooty, you hit the three-pointers, you kept hitting them, and just let me tell you what, for an 8th grader, you're doing great, my friend. What does it feel like to see John Moore hit that big shot?
Good. I about cried.
I about cried too when everybody started jumping on top of everybody. I don't want to get anybody hurt. I hope everybody joins us. No, tell me about this big victory.
It was crazy, man. Coach didn't tell us hold them to 40. We just had to get 41.
Hey guys, hey, hold on. Keep going. Yeah, go ahead. John Moore, incredible comeback. We didn't have a chance. We didn't have a prayer. We came in here as a 9 seed, and nobody gave us any credit to do anything. And we're going to a regional, and we play Friday night. Real quick, absolutely incredible, my friend. How did that get done?
Man, I just believe. My coach believed in me. He's like, John, they get it, take it. I don't know what to say. I'm speechless. I about cried too, man.
John Moore, glad you're in Newport, Arkansas, my friend.
Too.
The Unity Health Newport player of the game. John Moore had a baby. Y'all ready? Okay, the Subway Coaches Report. Coach, I know you've coached a few years in your life. I know you coached a lot of AAU basketball. Have you ever seen anything as incredible as that?
No, sir. No, I'm at a loss for words right now.
Well, that's understandable. great crowd. I want you to talk about the folks from Newport, Arkansas that showed up tonight.
They don't understand how much that means to the boys. Like, we've had some decent crowds at Newport, and up to this point, we've let them down. You know, so the big message there was they're here. What are we going to do with it? I mean, can't do much more than that right there.
Coach, I know you want to get in and celebrate with them, but I want to just ask you just maybe one more question. We've talked about the resiliency of these kids. 5 games in 6 days. Nobody outside of us, nobody but us, gave us a real chance to make it to a regional. Because we're a 9 seed, we got to win 3 in a row. We're on the road, my friend. We're going to a regional.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we were a 9 seed, and everybody wants to keep reminding me of that for whatever reason. But a 9 seed just made regionals. Let me tell you a story real quick. We went to halftime, 20-15. Right? What's our goal of the season per quarter?
At 10?
10 points per quarter. So I told them, I looked them in the face, and I said, we can expect them to get 40. Can we get to 41?
Unbelievable.
And the final was 41-40.
Unbelievable. Coach, I know you got to go. Congratulations. An awesome night to be a Newport Greyhound. Our program is on the upswing, and we're going to another regional. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Go Hounds, man.
As always, go Hounds.
Go Hounds.